But I've got to ask you this one thing about the women's wrestling. Now, I was a big fan of it for a long time, but the simple fact is, when you watch it, it's just not good enough. And they seem to be working this style of let's do everything really fast to make it look aggressive, but they keep botching every fucking thing. Um, but the question I've got for you, uh, from looking at a bigger picture thing, do you think that the women's wrestling, especially someone like Becky Lynch, is overpraised yet at the same time overly criticized?
Um, I guess, yeah. I don't know. That's very ambiguous. What do you mean by that?
Meaning, like, if like there was a thing a couple of years ago where Brie Bella accidentally kicked some woman in the face in a match and knocked her out, and the whole internet was like, "Fucking fire her! Get her out of the company! Never again! Never do it again!" When thousands of men have not have knocked out thousands of other men in matches, but when a woman botches, the internet's like, right, worst ever, out to go. But when a man does it to go, fuck, that's a shame. But at the same time, I feel that a lot of women have like a 2 or 3 out of 5 match, and then people go, I thought that was the personal highlight for me. I thought that Alexa Bliss showed a lot of promise, and she's a Hall of Famer for sure. So that's what I'm saying.
What, you talking about the fans, bro? I've been talking about how weird these fans are for years. I mean, you're sitting there trying to. Well, you're asking me questions, and you know that you're asking me rhetorical questions.
No, it's they're genuine questions.
They're rhetorical questions. You know the answers already because you know how I feel about these subjects.
But do you think that the women get unfairly criticized?
No. What's unfairly criticized because of your gender?
Yeah,
what do you mean by unfair? What's unfair criticism?
Like, that's what just what I said. If a woman botches, the internet wants them fired. If a guy botches, then it's find it funny.
Yeah, but if a guy botches, okay, usually it's an accident. Sometimes when a girl botches, they're doing something that you were looking at what they were doing, and it's like, why did you think you could do that successfully when the level of the percentage of failure is probably very high based on your body type and shape and your strength and everything. That's what I look at when I see the women do stuff. They try to do all the moves the guys do. Literally try to do all the moves the guys do. And just some of them are not physically built to do those moves. So when they botch a move like that, it's like that's like dumb. That'd be like, like me trying to go and give like the Paul White a suplex. And I pick him up and he falls on me and breaks my ankle or something. It's just like, it just doesn't make sense. They're doing stuff that like logic would not dictate that you're going to perform that move successfully sometimes because they're going beyond their limits and stuff. The risk involved outweighs the chance of success. So if you botch like that, of course you deserve fair criticism. And performing in front of the cameras just like everybody else.
Yeah, but I thought that Brie Bella didn't deserve all that shit.
No, she probably didn't.
Oh, well, see.
But the people that have never trained, never wrestled before, never taken a class, never done anything, they've just read who's good and who's not, and you're reading from other people that have never trained, never wrestled and stuff. Everything. This is the thing that's fascinating. It's like, do you know who the best worker in our locker room was when I started back in 1995?
No.
Just universe. The boys thought this. This is like all the performers the bookers, everybody. As a worker, do you know who the best worker was?
Bobby Eaton?
Nope, Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong was universally known as the best worker. And you know why he was the best worker? Because everything he did looked great. Everything he did that you did to him looked good because he's so great, and he was light as a feather. Meaning he made it look real and he was barely touching you. That's why he was a great worker. You know what I'm saying? But now all of a sudden it's like these people are going and they're rating the matches and they're drawing this false result that like, oh, those guys must be great workers. And it's like sometimes the work isn't any good because they're beating the piss out of each other. You know what I'm saying? And you're looking, okay, that's not great work. This may be a good match to watch, but like you don't want everybody working like that because they're not going to last because you're going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's like so work is the people that have never worked, the dirt sheet writers that have never worked and stuff. You hear them sometimes talk about what they think good work is, and they have no fucking clue. They just have no idea what they're talking about because that is not what work is. Work is to make it look as real as possible, as light as possible. That is the perfect combination of work.
Brad Armstrong, of course, the name of a famous porn director who was married to Jenna Jameson.
But she's married to a porn director right now?
Used to be.
Oh, used to be. But before Tito or after Tito?
Before Tito.
Before Tito, right. Okay.